Extreme weather is plaguing Europe, with much of the continent blanketed in snow, and the freezing conditions have left tens of thousands of European travellers stranded in railway stations, traffic jams and of course even airports today. And there have been some very disturbing news coming out of Poland. There have been a number of deaths because of the freezing temperatures there. Well, our weather presenter Laura Tobin is here with me. And Laura, what is the picture?
Well, we've had cold air sitting across central and eastern areas of Europe for a good few days. We've had that cold air making its way across right the way to the UK, and that's why we're so cold now. But the cold air has been pooling across places like Germany and Poland, and it's just been colder and colder and colder and colder. Overnight, for example, in Warsaw, we saw lows of minus 18 degrees last night. Usually for this time of year, it should be around about minus 4 or minus 5, so significantly colder than usual. And in fact, record-breaking temperatures overnight lows there around about minus 20 degrees, so nearly record-breaking lows. That's why we've seen such adverse conditions to these cold weather.
And if we just look at those pictures there, the airport's frozen and planes not moving anywhere, and very dangerous road conditions as well across Europe.
Yes, treacherous conditions. These very low sub-zero temperatures, very widespread, very severe, harsh ice around, and there's still further snow falling onto these surfaces, and it's this combination, and it looks as though it's going to stay very, very cold indeed for the coming week, with air continuing to come in from the east, and that air is continuing to track its way across to the UK as well.
And what about the UK? I mean, are we seeing extremes here as well?
We have been seeing some very, very low temperatures over the last few days. Last night, for example, in Topcliffe towards Yorkshire, minus 14.1 degrees this morning, and that's actually the lowest it's been in that area since Valentine's Day in 1991. So 18 years it hasn't been that cold overnight. And as we've seen, we've saw further snowfall towards the southeast overnight, further snowfall across the northwest of England and Scotland. That's set to continue throughout the course of the day. And for us, it stays really cold throughout this week, and the cold air sits right across the UK, pooling across central areas of Europe, and it does look as though temperatures there will get lower in the coming days.
So let's look at the overall picture on these temperatures that you're talking about. Just how bad has it been for Europe and the UK?
OK, well, I've got a few figures here. For Paris, minus 4, it should be around about 2 degrees overnight. But for Luxembourg last night, minus 14 degrees. That's one of the record-breaking temperatures we've seen around the near continent. And Berlin as well, also minus 14 degrees there overnight last night. Similar temperatures, minus 18 in Warsaw and minus 17 degrees in Prague. That's also near record-breaking temperatures. So it is very unusual for this time of year.
Just looking at some pictures coming out of Romania, they're suffering as well because, of course, it's all that block, isn't it, that's really being hit by it?
Yes, it is, and it's just sitting there. There's no significant weather making its way in from the Atlantic, which would normally push these kind of setups away.
So this could stay then for a few days?
It does look as though it will stay, particularly across these central and eastern areas of Europe. This cold pool of air has nothing to shift it away, and with very, very clear conditions by night, the cold, frosty conditions return, and then the snow by day means that temperatures really won't rise very far.
These pictures there we've just seen there of that rescue coming from the Netherlands, and obviously various countries having to deal with their own emergencies, but it looks like we're all cold.
Yes, it does. It looks like we're all cold, and this cold weather, as I said, affecting Central and Eastern Europe, continuing throughout this week, and the cold weather sticks with us, but it looks as though we may well be slightly less cold as we head towards the end of the week, as we head towards Christmas.
Dare I ask you if we're going to have a white Christmas day?
Well, believe it or not, we still really don't know. At the moment, we've got a pool of milder air sitting to the southwest of the UK, and these milder conditions will very, very slowly start to make their way in across the UK as we head through the next few days. And it's that we're keeping our eye on. But in the meantime, it does look as though it's going to be cold with widespread frost overnight and more significant snowfall in the next few days. So we'll look in detail at the weather across the UK throughout the rest of the day then. We still have Met Office weather warnings in force, particularly across western areas of Scotland, the northwest of England, and also across northern areas of Northern Ireland. By the end of the day, we could see 5 to 10 centimetres of snow over low-lying ground, further snow across high ground. And the reason for that is this strong northwesterly flow bringing this bitterly, bitterly cold air in. Now, for central and eastern areas, it looks as though there should be more sunshine around throughout the course of the afternoon and on into the early evening. But one thing we're also watching out for, not just the snow across Northern Ireland, southwest Scotland and the northwest of England, these biting winds, gusty conditions sweeping in from the northwest, gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour. That, with the snow, will give blizzard-like conditions through this evening and overnight for these northern and western areas, something to be very wary of. Now, for southern areas, the skies will be clear, it will be cold and dry, and for many of us, as we start the new working week, it looks as though it's going to be very, very cold and frosty. Temperatures for many starting off at around about -2 or -3 degrees. Now, we'll look at around about rush hour first thing tomorrow morning. Across Wales and the southwest, a biting cold, frosty start. 1 or 2 showers will be drifting their way through the Bristol Channel. Most of them as rain, perhaps sleet and snow across higher ground. For southern and eastern areas of England, still a lot of lying snow around, and still the compact conditions on side roads where they've been untreated means yet again very icy conditions first thing tomorrow morning. Wintry showers in towards the northwest of England, largely dry for eastern Scotland, but a cold, frosty start. -2s and -3s in the towns and centres, but certainly a lot colder than that in the countryside. Further snow falling for western Scotland and for the far north of Northern Ireland. Now, through tomorrow, northern and western areas stick with these wintry showers. Southern areas, they will cloud over as the weather system pushes in. Generally falling as rain through these southern counties of England, perhaps sleet for a time. But the main problem we'll see tomorrow is that the rain falling onto the cold surfaces will give the risk of icy stretches towards the southeast corner of England. And that's all your weather for now.